Hi, and welcome to your channel, Nieves Birds. We already talked about the tools and materials we're going to use to transform our tire in a hanging bird pot. In this video, we are going to cut the tire. And to do so, we have our tools and materials right here. In this case, I'm going to use this cutter, measuring tape, chalk, and our ruler. These are all the materials we are going to use in this first step. We place the tire like this. This is a scooter tire, but you can also use a car tire for this. Remember to use this spare one. Once you have the tire placed this way, we use our tape to measure the inner circle. This one right here is 15 inches wide. Now I use the ruler to find the center of the circle, to calculate exactly the half of the tire. In this case, 7.5 inches. I do this in order to have two parts exactly divided. But don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect, just as closer as it can be. Remember to mark this spot in both sides, at the top and the bottom. You should end up having something like this. Now, I do the same thing on the other side. But this time, just calculating by seeing the other side of the tire. Now, I will place the tire in a flat position again, and I will mark with an X the part that will face down. I do this so I know which part will be the one facing up and facing down. Now, I do the same on the other side. Remember to mark the X's below the main mark we did before, like this. Main marks in both sides and the X's below. The same thing with the other side. The main marks and the X's below them. Then we are going to use our cutter to make those cuts. You are going to cut from line to line, not touching the X's. And that would be the side facing up. We are going to separate it from the ring, just as you see it here. Every tire has this line that we can use as a guide to separate the rubber. That line will tell you where to cut. As you already know, the X's are below, so we don't cut through that side where the X's are. So, how do we cut? Well, in this case, as I am right-handed, I will use my right hand. We are going to cut through the rubber many times in the same place until the cutter goes through the whole tire. We achieve that by making several little cuts. We rotate the tire towards us so we can handle better the job. And so we are cutting and cutting until we reach the marked zone. Achieving this form shown here. You can can see how the ring is now separated right here. We do this on both sides, and the X marked zone is left as it is. From line to line, you go through the whole ring, and you should have something looking like this. You can separate the rings like this. Then we choose a side. I chose the right one. Here you cut the tire and should end up looking like this. Now you pass this part of the tire through the rings. We separate the tire only in one side, no matter what side you choose. And this is what you should have. And from right here, you start to cut down. Only this time, the cut should be 1 or 2 inches in both sides. Just as we did right here, you keep cutting until you reach 1 or 2 inches long. Now we are going to flip the tire, and I'll show you step by step, so pay attention on how I do it. So first and foremost, remember those little cuts we did before. Remember that those little cuts should be only 1 or 2 inches long. So we place our tire like this. Stretch this side and just use your hands to push until you have this. Try to press the tire on the ground as much as you can. Now separate the rings by pushing them outside until you reach this position. Okay, once you have this, try to stretch this part. Put your foot here and hold the tire like this so it won't lift up itself. Remember to separate those rings. This would be the initial position to start the flip process. Using our free foot, we are going to place it on top of the tire like this, and we are going to press down as much as we can. Now feel how the rubber fights back. When it happens, pull the rings away and try to get into this position. Now, pull the ring towards you. Here, you will feel how the tire will resist you. What we're going to do is to start flipping with our hands that part of the rubber fighting us back. So, with one hand, I grab the ring, and with the other, I flip the rubber towards my foot. And I do the same thing on the other side. One hand on the ring, and the other one flipping the rubber. As you can see, we have another part of the tire making a resistance. So, we are going to use our hands to push it outside so we can flip the whole tire for good. achieving the effect we are looking for. The tire looking like this inside-out form. Maybe you won't do it at the first try, so watch the video a couple of times. Remember to use your hands to flip the rubber in those parts where the rubber fights you back. If you like the video, remember to share, give it a like and subscribe so you can watch the next video.